Veganish.
Doing something that you feel is not up to par because
So,
you never know what's going on.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate and implement that or inject that there's not always a market manager. So some people do put more on their plate. So that's my recommendation or horror story. I think that the last few markets that we've been in and the experience that we have, people are putting more on their plate than they probably could. Hi, I'm Lamont.
I'm India.
And today on Market Talks, we want to talk about operations, right? Operations are very difficult to maintain. Sometimes you lose employees. Sometimes you keep employees. Sometimes you have the best staff to make sure day of operation goes great. And we're talking about events in general, but when you're a vendor at the market, it's very key for the market to have a good market manager. Somebody who can maintain and convey the different things that you may need to talk to the market about and the market may need to talk to you about. A good way for that to happen is emails. So we get a ton of emails, good, right? But there's also those horror stories where it's just like nobody showed up to the market, or the information that you're getting from the market manager or whoever's sending the emails is not so clear, or you run into one of the situations where your spot is not your spot no more, or there's nowhere to park at, or there's no food or something for the vendors, or there's no drinks on a hot day, or you know, there's just so many different things. Do you have another or before I go on to the next thing?
I mean, no personality dealing with certain people.
Or there's no bathroom. It's like it's so many different things. Personality is definitely key, right? So what we wanted to talk about with marketing or managing the market is just some of the tips and tools that we think, if you were hosting or maybe a manager, somebody's watching this, right, that you could implement, so that way it worked a lot better or got a lot smoother. The first thing that I want to say is the emails. They need to be corresponded on a regular basis, probably as frequent as we show up to the market. So if it's every week, then you want to have it every week. If it's one time, then maybe several times before the one time, right? You want to lay out where the person's going to be at, maybe assign a spot, right? You want to give some signage or a map, right? Marketing material that the vendor can use, right? So whether it's just a basic flyer that they can put up every time that they come, something digital that they can post up on their social media, whatever, you want to give that to them, right? I also think it's important that if you have somebody in your market, maybe you're not a graphic designer, but we use Canva. You can go in there, maybe make a little bubble circle thing to go on there and put the person's logo or face on there and just give them some type of advertisement on your platform because you're hosting the event. So how do other people know who's at your market or your event? By you giving them that collateral, that space, that digital footprint that they can use and say, hey, well, I was here, I was a part of this, right? I think another thing is definitely marketing, but I'm gonna stop there because I can go deep on marketing, and we're gonna see if Indy has a few points that she wants to talk about. So that was like 3 good points right there. Where you at with it?
I think if you are running a market or any kind of event and you're in charge of it, I think your personality plays a major role in retention and retaining the people that you are seeking to fulfill your market or fulfill your space or fulfill your events. You have to be pleasurable. That means speaking to everyone that paid their money to be a part of your vision. It could be something basic as, hey, how are you? How are you doing today? That goes so far. And I feel that that's far removed from a lot of people. They just think like, oh, you're here, you're just another body. And they don't really aren't as invested in you, even though you invested your money into their vision. So I think if you're throwing an event, or throwing a market, you have to be pleasurable and you have to have people skills. That's number one.
Those are three, girl. You better stop trying to slight yourself. So you said personable, you said people skills, and I swear you said something else that was like emotional based. What did you just say that was emotional based?
Checking in on people, asking them how they're doing, how they're feeling.
So communicative, is that what you said?
Communicative.
Communicative? Oh, I'm not a thesaurus, nor am I a dictionary. So, however that came out, you know what I meant. Personable. That was the one, right? So, personable. And then I started off with marketing and some signage. And I feel like I said one more thing that was really
operations.
Good. Oh, and operations, right. So that's like 6 right there off the top that we just gave you, bam, 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 that will help market or get your market or get your event or manage your event, whatever category you fall underneath, a little bit more of a pleasurable experience, right? We're not going to go too deep. We do host events. That's not what this is about. This is just some tips and some updates about what we feel that may be implemented that can help out so that way it can run a little bit smoother. Do you want to talk about any non-named horror stories? Well, before we go on that, because everybody loves a good horror story.
Other things to
what
add
was you gonna say? Okay,
that.
you want to add in a couple more things? Go ahead.
Yeah.
We had 6. Now, what else do you want to add?
I want to add in advertising and marketing.
I said that.
You did.
Yes.
Okay. My other thing to add was, you can't control other people. So if you're throwing a market, for example, that's for 16 weeks, you can't control or get mad if somebody missed the week or they didn't show up at the exact start time, because things happen. You have to be caring enough to reach out and seek and understand what's going on in somebody else's life and to see how you can accommodate them, to help them show up on time, or to notify you that they're not going to be in attendance. Or we're going into examples. I feel like you shouldn't blast everybody if it's just 1 or 2 people that aren't holding up to your recommendation.
This is so my partner, because that was my horror story I was about to hit you with. They're not really horror stories, but it's just stuff that...
You can go into detail into it, but it's very unprofessional. You can always pull the person to the side. You can send them a separate email. You can reach out to them. You don't have to pull everybody together and reprimand everybody because 1 or 2 people are not doing something that you feel is not up to par, because you never know what's going on.
I'm going to play devil's advocate and implement that, or inject that there's not always a market manager. So some people do put more on their plate. So that's my recommendation or horror story. I think that the last few markets that we've been in and the experience that we have, people are putting more on their plate than they probably could take, and it's probably this market that they're running is probably not their number one priority, nor is it their job. So they're just the person in charge or the go-to person, and they were probably supposed to build out a team. And whether the team stayed or left, it left them with the plates, and that plate may have been too full for them. And then we get the back end of that, which is them not totally understanding how to communicate or how to deal with the vendors without emotion. So there goes that. But
it's just business.
It's just business. And most of the time when you're vending, you paid. So therefore you need to treat the person like it's a partnership and
Absolutely.
Not like they work for you or you're doing them a favor, which in all actuality you probably are, but you're also
But they're doing you a favor too.
Right. Well, and now what I was going to say is the most valuable thing is time. So even if it wasn't no money involved or exchange, you're using this person's time to fill out the space that you need in your market. So therefore, that's a valuable asset. You know, if there was no teacher to teach, whether you paid them or not, then how would you get students in the class? If there's nobody to come to the market to sell the stuff, then how do you get people to come to the market? Right. So like that is a valuable asset, and you cannot just treat them like they're disposable or expendable. So here goes my story is, we've had a market manager come by several times. I don't know if it was in just this market or the last market, but not really speak to us in the market. Which you would think that if I didn't see you today, I don't know if I know you a little bit, I'm gonna say hi, how's things going, what's going on with you? And that's just on some basic level. So imagine if you're the person running the market. Like, we speak to everybody in the market. That we don't care. Hey, how you doing? You having a good day? You not having a good day? We all in your business. We all not in your business. However it goes, just communicating, right? We're here. We're all human. Everybody's having a good day. Somebody's not having a good day. However it goes. But you would think that the market manager or the person that's in charge, or the person that does and runs the market, you would show up, say hi, show out, say what's up, whatever, any of those things.
Communicate.
Just communicate.
Communication is important. It shows people that you care. It shows people that you're interested in them and what's going on in their day, and it shows that, you know, you're looking to help them, and it makes the person remember that in the back of their head and want to sign up and work out a partnership with you for your next event or for your next market. So communication and persona is very important.
We don't want to come back. Communicate. Your persona was off. Communication was off. Like she said, we're not coming back. It's a wrap. No, but so that's another thing. And maybe we'll talk about that on another one. Is follow through. So on that note, have a good one. Market Talks. Peace.
Yes! This is the best sauce ever. I am so excited to see you here. I've been waiting all year to get this sauce.
You don't gotta wait no longer.